Good morning, Michael Jordan. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I can't hear you, Michael. You are muted. Good morning, Rakesh. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Hussein.
Good morning, Hussein.
Okay, Rakesh. I don't know. Is it morning over there?
No, this is afternoon. Just evening is about to start.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Time is relative.
Okay. Good morning, testimony also. So today, I'll be moderating today's session. Okay. I'll be moderating today's session of the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program Week 2 for patent drafting. And our mentors for today are Mr. Rakesh and Ms. Amosa Shukrat. So quickly, let me read on the announcements and about the program before we continue to our mentees presentation. Then after that, our mentors will give us corrections, remarks, and also mentor us. So quickly about the program, Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program is a quarterly program for students, young professionals across Africa. Mentees are afforded the opportunity to access valuable advice, training network, mentorship, internship, discussion forums, industry update, and resource materials from experienced mentors. This program seeks to encourage continuous training, development, and evolution in Nigeria, Africa, and around the world. #Gypsy. You can watch our video by streaming online on YouTube and Facebook, Gypsy, and search the word Gypsy. So objectives of the program is to provide easy access, guidance, training, and resource materials for students and young professionals in Africa, to facilitate dialogue and network among experienced and less experienced practitioners and stakeholders, to transform mentees into mentors, for further mentorship, to transform mentees into mentors and leaders for the next generation, and to facilitate further mentorship, internship, scholarship, and job placements for the mentees. So that's all we are all about. I will make one or two announcements before we start the program properly. So the registration for the next quarter is currently ongoing. You can share the link with your friends, your colleagues that are interested in any of the areas of the courses: intellectual property, artificial intelligence and technology, the energy industry, fintech, health tech and law, and of course, patent drafting. We'll also be having a get-together party by the end of the year. So it's not just going to be mentorship, presentations, question and answers. We are going to have fun. So by the end of the year, December, in Lagos, it's 17th of December, and in Abuja, it's 10th of December. These are the 2 dates for the get-together party. It's going to be like a picnic, and we are going to come together. The mentees available will come, the mentors available. So this is an opportunity to meet and network with our mentors. So finally, there's a 30-minute mentorship program for the mentees. This offer is for the mentees, any mentees that is interested in having a 30-minute private session with any mentor. You can register through the link bit.ly/gypsypm, or send me a message on my WhatsApp, and I will send you the link to register. So that's all for the announcements. So I'll be calling on the first person to present today, and you can start your presentation while I assist you in sharing your screen so that everything will go smoothly. Thank you very much. Michael, I can't hear you, so I think you do away with the earpiece, or I don't know. I still can't hear you. I don't know.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
yes,
Is it better?
I can hear you
Okay.
now. Okay,
All right.
welcome our mentee. Okay, hold on, Michael, before the presentation starts, I think I forgot something. So I'll be reading
Okay.
our mentors profile for today. The first mentor is Mr. Rakesh Sharma. Mr. Rakesh is a patent consultant and ex-Honeywell. And our second mentor just joined us. Kindly join me in welcoming her. We had a very great session yesterday on intellectual property, and she's also joining us today for patent drafting in the person of Ms. Amusa Shukrat Modupeola. Amusa is a proficient consultant, analyst, and educator in the field of intellectual property with public sector experience. She's a member of the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO committee, and has a master's degree in intellectual property at African University Zimbabwe in conjunction with WIPO and Japan government. She has partaken in professional trainings at the World Intellectual Property Organization, as well as other IP-related bodies, and has facilitated numerous intellectual property-related programs, both online and offline. Shukrat is the pioneer of an educational platform, DIN, the intangible nuggets, which facilitates IP awareness and brings the knowledge of intellectual property closer to everyone. In celebration of the 2022 World IP Day, she partnered with other stakeholders to sponsor 5 IP enthusiasts and registered them for WIPO advanced courses. Amusa is an accredited agent in the Nigeria Intellectual Property Office, Nigeria Copyright Commission, Trademark, Patent and Design Registry, and her expertise are both not limited to trademark, patents, industry design, copyright, trademark secrets, respectively. Thank you for joining us today, Ms. Amusa. You can start your presentation now, Michael.
All right. I want to say a big thank you to my mentor, Rakesh, and my facilitator, Juliana Imam, and then Hussein. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I begin now. Okay, I'll be discussing on patent strategy, patent search, and then seemingly legal requirements for patentability. All right. First and foremost, it was quite a search, but I had to compress and then do a quite little study on some of this because it's quite bogus, but I'll try my best to communicate key points. All right. So an overview of patent strategy. A patent strategy is simply a plan. And from the world of technology, a plan can be like an algorithm that shows a step-by-step approach for getting your objective achieved. However, it is not a plan in isolation, just as is stated there. It is designated to reflect or a coordinated effort for developing, managing, and using intellectual property rights to accomplish a company's national and international business objectives. Next is what is patent strategy, just simply. Now, a patent strategy is, in simple terms, refers to the steps taken by a company to protect its inventions and maintain position within its technological space. This is very, very important as to our current rise in evolution when it comes to technology. Many things are happening, new ideas, new portfolios, and many people just want to be in the climax. And so this will help people if they understand what patent strategy is all about. It is a crucial act of a company's intellectual property strategy. Patent strategy should be elaborated in a view of a company's research, marketing, and business strategy. And some other persons can say a patent strategy is like a business strategy, because a business strategy reviews an algorithm of the aims of an objective that by which a company wants to achieve a particular goal or goals, as the case may be. Now, if your technology is unique on the market, it is very, very possible that you will attract extreme competitive advantage. Now, often patent strategy are almost similar to a business strategy because it reviews business objectives. One of the things that a patent strategy can do is that it creates a favorable business image, avoid patent infringements and disputes, and so on. So what should a good patent strategy capture? What should a good patent strategy capture? Now, a good patent strategy should be technology-based and should support the business of the company. So patent strategy works along with the business strategy of any company. It is not just done based on someone's own idea. It should capture the key core business objectives of companies. Now, a good patent strategy should evaluate risk of infringement of third parties' rights, the risk of infringement of own development, and should outline defensive actions to permit the business and technical staff to move forward in developing marketing products. Now, elements of a patent strategy. What are those key elements that amounts to what a patent strategy should be? Now, one is to establish a proprietary positions in each business sector that hinder competitors from using best technology in the countries. Number two is to provide mechanism for the company's ability to operate freely for current and new products, to facilitate acquisition and or developing alliances with other businesses of interest. The last there is to include a mechanism for evaluating the cost associated with each of the preceding elements. That's 1, 2, 3. So number 4 should review evaluation based on the first 3. Next on the slide is patent search. Now, a patent search or patentability search is a search of existing patents and other publicly available documents. Of course, the way innovations are going, many people, it is possible that someone might have an idea of a technology that is new, but it's already in the heart of somebody else. And before the person can go on to establish that idea, it is possible that somebody had already established it. And once that has happened, it is very possible, it is very important that a patent search is carried out. This will review existing documents that is somehow related to another person's invention. And it serves as a guardian in guiding him into understanding more about his invention, and if possible, if I'm permitted to say that. All right. And it is sometimes referred to as prior art. Now, when a patent application is filed, it is examined by a patent examiner by comparing the claimed invention with the prior art. The prior art there is existing materials that is somehow related to the claimed invention. Then a patent can be issued if the examiner is convinced that the invention is new. The word new there is italicized because it is very important that an invention is new. The purpose of patent search: to determine how different an invention is from what already exists in the prior act. So it is very, very important. Patent search helps to differentiate between what is already existing and the new one that is about to come on stage. Now, limitation, of course, there's a limitation to patent search. And that limitation is a patent search will not tell you if your invention infringes someone else's patent. This is quite shocking, but I noticed that part of my research, I stumbled upon a limitation to patent search. So the next one is benefits. What are the benefits of this patent search? Number one, it helps the inventor in identifying the closest prior art so as to determine how patentable the invention is. And it can also reveal that the inventor's invention has already been made. That is one of the benefits of what patent search can help the patent drafter to accomplish. So lastly is the legal requirements for patentability. Of course, this is very such, but it is very small, but it is bogus. And I trust that more from my mentors this morning, more elaborations will be made on it. Okay, an invention is patentable only if it meets the following 4 requirements. Number one, the invention must be statutory. That is, it must be subject to eligibility. I stumbled upon certain rules and acts regarding this particular one, but I had to just try my best to make it very clear. It must be subject to eligibility, and this is according to some rules pertaining regions and countries and so on and so forth. The invention must be new, of course, novelty or newness. It must be new. It must be something that is unique. The invention must be useful. That is, it must be industrially applicable. The last one there is the invention must be non-obvious. That is, it is required that the invention be an improvement over the prior art. Of course, there are so many things that have already existed before, so many technology that have existed before. But what our evolution is trying to teach us now is that there are inventions that are coming that are modified. So there are modifications of already existing inventions. So one of the last requirement there captures this reason. With these few points of mine, I believe if I have done justice to the topic that was given to me, I want to thank you for the time. Thank you for listening, my mentor and my facilitator who's saying thank you so much. I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Michael, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you for being precise, for being very clear as possible. And I hope that we all understand. So I'll call on the next mentee that will be presenting testimony. You can start your presentation and I will help you share your screen.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zain. Good morning, Rakesh. Good morning, Michael. Michael has said almost everything I'll be saying, although my topic is kind of different. So essentially, I was giving about prior art searches, novelty searches, freedom to operate analysis, patent landscape, and invalidity searches. As a patent enthusiast, one of the first thing you have to do is you have to understand the concept of each of these terms, because they will help you to get a clear understanding of case studies and scenarios where you might apply or advise people about what to do counterlining their patents. Can I get the next slide, please? So first off, I'll be starting with prior art searches. Prior art searches are actually just able to evaluate whether an invention can be patented or not. Is it new? Is it useful? Is it non-obvious? That prior art search is kind of it's important to know, understand what has been done before. In our previous class, Rakesh gave an example of how you could get a kettle which has 2 mouths and you have an improvement, in 1 mouth, you have an improvement to 2 mouths. So the prior art search is basically that former kettle that had just 1 mouth. So it's essential for you to understand what has existed before. It's not to ensure that you're not doing something that has been done before, you're patenting something that has been produced before. And if you have concerns about, okay, what do I get these prior art searches? It's not actually easy in some countries where there are poor database management. But for a worldwide scope, you could always check the WPIO, you could always check Google Patents, you could always check the Canadian International Patent Office and many other sources just to know whether a prior art has actually existed for something you want patent. And we have novelty search. Novelty search aims to search for possible obstacles to patenting. Now, every one of us, when we have this big idea, unusual idea, industry application.
I don't know. I can't hear testimony. Can we all hear him?
No, we can't hear him.
Okay, I think we lost him. His network might be fluctuating. So I think he's still at the prayer art church. So when he joins us again, I think he will continue from there. So I'll stop sharing the screen now, and I'll call on our mentors for today to start with the mentorship. Okay, I'll call on Mr. Rakesh to start before Ms. Amusa.
Thank you, Hussein. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I am sharing my screen. So just let me know once it is up and we can start.
Yes, it's up now.
My system is a little bit slow, so apologies for that. So we will start with today patent, the patentability requirement and the patent strategy. So as we discussed last time about the anatomy of a patent and what can be patented, now to convert every idea into a patent, we are all aware about the patents, but how a patent is granted in many countries, like in, I would say, multiple jurisdictions, it is having some kind of like requirements which one has to fulfill. General requirements are somewhat similar in each and every jurisdiction, be it international like PCT application one files in the WIPO, or US, Europe, Africa, Japan, everywhere. So the general requirements, as Mike has already told us about the subject matter eligibility, and it must be new, inventive, and as having industrial applicability. So how these requirements need to be fulfilled and what is the need of a prior art search? We call it a patentability search. As someone just was talking about the different type of searches, I will give you an overview about all those searches and what is the utility of each and different type of searches. But specifically, I will talk about only the patentability search. Patentability search is like a preliminary search which will give you an overview about the idea, whether your idea is patented or it is already disclosed by someone in any of the jurisdictions, like anywhere across the globe. So to fulfill these requirements, like one must have to understand like what is the novelty. Novelty means something new. But if something is new, like I would say more than 80% applications are being filed for not for the novelty, but for the non-obviousness type. Non-obviousness is something existing, but we are making some modification and we are making it some more efficient, some more smarter, and some more like robust. So these all fall under the category of non-obviousness, or I would say inventiveness. The third one is like what industrial applicability we talk about. So everything we are like manufacturing or we are trying to get a patent, it must have industrial applicability. Without that, there is no utility. And maximum inventions, anybody is filing for the patents, they all fulfill the criteria of industrial applicability. The major rejections one face is related to novelty and non-obviousness. So before jumping into the details of the prior art search, one must have to like get an understanding like what can or can't be patented. Because if this is clear, we can save our lot of effort and energy while doing some kind of research, and if we are going to file a patent. As I had discussed this last time also, so everything like we can patent any product, device, system, or any method or any chemical composition. So these are all patentable. So just we have to fulfill the criteria of these three, like it should be new, inventive, and industrial applicability. These criteria everywhere, every patent office will ask about these three parameters, like they will use these three parameters to judge your invention. So what cannot be patented, these things I would say, these cannot patent or this not category vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Like some countries do not allow software inventions to get patents, but some countries like do not allow business methods or method of treatments or method of like doing surgery, genetic modification. So such applications are not allowed for patentability. So these are not allowed by the specific jurisdictions. So by having this clear idea, we can go ahead, like we are having an idea and we just want to know whether this can be patented or not. Who will tell us? By just conducting a patentability search. Like we can get an idea from this slide. Like we are having an idea and we are asking like ourselves or any of the patent professional, IP attorney, like whether we should go for the filing a patent or not. So when anyone who is like having an idea or who is an inventor, just ask these questions to yourself, like whether you should patent your invention or not. Based on the answer from these questions, you would be able to take a decision. Like you have to conduct a prior art search. Why this prior art search is necessary? It will give you a clear introspection how novel or like how much potential your idea is having, how much already work has been done in particular this direction. So in that case, either you can do it your own or you can get an advice from a legal expert who is like having IP experience. And the second one is like, if it is novel, it has to clarify the rights of the invention. Like, so I would say like, if it is like fulfilling the criteria of novelty, like new or novelty, we can say, or inventive, and we used to call it inventiveness, legal advice seems to be better. And this is similar to like we are purchasing a property somewhere, purchasing a piece of land, and we are looking for a legal advice about the clearance or something, so that if we are like building or constructing our house there, so that no third party should come, or no like government or legal notice we should not receive after the construction. So the same way, once you are filing a patent, so you should not have to suffer a lot. So it's better to make all these due diligence in advance. So this is this case. That's why we are saying it a prior art search before filing. So one thing I would like to make it clear, there is no statutory requirement from any of the patent office. Like you must have to have a or conduct a patentability search either by your own or by from any of the IP professional. There is no statutory requirement. It is for our own benefit. So these can be like categorized into two major categories, like conducting a prior art search when it is needed and directly filing a patent application without prior art search. So why and where conducting a prior art search is needed? Like suppose you are an individual inventor, you have come up with one idea, or university people or non-practicing entities or startups are there. Like in a nutshell, I would say the people who are new in the IP domain, they need to have a patentability search to get a clear picture where they actually stand in the market. The other thing is, this is again costly. You have to spend either your time if you are having expertise. Otherwise, if you are hiring an expert, of course, they will charge. But in exchange of that money, you will get helpful insights for decision making, and your money further for filing will get saved. But if you are having expert, like you are having a subject matter expert in any of the domain, then there is no need to go for the patentability search, because you know each and every invention and technology evolution. So you know each and everything about that particular domain. So you can simply say, I know my competitors, I know the technology portfolio, so I knew each and everything. I do not need any advice from IP professional, because this technology is well known to me. So people who are like working in a one particular technology for like more than a decade, they used to follow this strategy. They do not want to seek an opinion from IP professional, and without patentability, they can file a patent. Generally, they do this practice. So what is a prior art search? I am just giving you an example. So someone has filed a patent related to this, bringing the sunken ship to the surface by filling it with the air balls or thermocol balls, I would say, from the upside. So by filling that air balls inside the ship, obviously the buoyancy will be high and it will come up on the surface. So for particular this patent invention, examiner has cited a prior art from this cartoon Donald Duck, and exactly similar things has been shown, and based on only this reference, this patent was not allowed for the grant. So why I am showing this? Prior art could be anything, be it a patent, non-patent literature, anything published in the newspaper or movie screen, or anything disclosed in the any of the TV show or movies or comics, cartoon, anywhere. Like if it is disclosed, it can be acted as a or used as a prior art for the invention. So prior art could be treated as anything which is in the public domain. And you would be surprised, many of the, like Apple is having a dominance in the computer domain, but many of their patents, design patents especially for the MacBook and Apple phone, got rejected because of the movies, like animated movies, and they have also shown the similar designs for the MacBook and other stuff. So prior art could be anything which is disclosed in the public domain. So talking about the patentability quickly, I would give you an example which I had given last week. It is related to, like, this is suppose your invention. It is having like two spots for like pouring the tea. And this is prior art, like you have conducted a patentability search, either your own. So this is well known, I would say, the state of the art. It is a fertilizer distributor having two nozzles for quickly distributing the seeds and the manure. The third one is like, these are all the like prior art documents. So how one would have to analyze whether this particular invention is patentable or not. So one, this is a patentability. I will show you a sample patentability report also, how we actually do it. So based on that, these are three references, prior arts. So one has to decide whether this is patentable or not. So accordingly, we have these two criteria. Simply, we need to determine the closest prior art. These are the closest prior art. This is the features of our invention. So we have to understand what were the drawback of the prior art and what advantages or technical effect our invention is achieving. So if we are able to differentiate between these two, obviously these feature will come up as a new, I would say, novelty or the inventive step part. So if there is no difference between the prior art and your idea, then it should not be treated as a patentable. Either you have to do it, and if there is like no difference, then either you have to like abandon your idea, or you have to amend the idea features, or you must have to like incorporate some new features so that it should be patentable, and these prior art should not act as a roadblock for that. This is the only way, like you must have to gauge what patentability is actually doing. So either if you are doing it yourself or you are taking help from any of the expert, the whole objective of the patentability is to like get an idea. And before filing, why we are doing it? It is simply like before constructing a building, we are like preparing a their map blueprint for that, and also preparing a I would say the dummy project for that to do all the experimentation like the seismic or earthquake resistance and other stuff. So this could be treated as that way only, because once you will file the patent, that patent office will also conduct a patentability search, and they will come up with the prior art references, and then you have to make a response to those prior art references. So to make a one step ahead from the patent office, everybody try to like conduct a patentability search to save a lot of bugs at the later stage. So these are the like different advantages one can get from the patentability search. Like it will help you in determining if you want to file a patent or you have to change the scope or the features of your invention. So it will give you a clear idea whether your invention is new or already disclosed. And also it will give you idea like what are the inventive steps, and you can generate new ideas also based on that patentability set, because you know the typical problems others are solving, so you must have to change your idea. So it will also help you to or force you to think from the new or fresh perspectives. So patent search could be like many types. It is like text-based search or class-based search. Multiple resources and databases are there. Either free databases are available and paid databases are also available. And these are very easy to use. You just have to like enter the like keywords and you will get the result set. Suppose for the like search statement, I'm just writing air quality or sensor. These many results set I will get from the Google patents. And if I'm just changing over to and, the result set from this 634,002 has been drastically reduced to only 2,000. And if I'm further like writing more, like I'm searching for air quality and sensor and pollution and indoor. So this is my complete search criteria. I am just getting only 131 patents. So this is how you can like search from broader to narrow perspective based on the features you are going to search for. So this is the way you can use multiple operators. Like Google Patents is also has provided a search guide which anybody can easily understand and use it for their own benefit. So prior art searches, or I would say patentability search, is not a rocket science. Anyone can do it. They just have to have the ability to perform few these permutation and combination to do the prior art search. And I would say this is similar to like we do online shopping for our products. So this is similar to that. Whenever once like we need to buy a pair of shoes, we keep on searching on multiple databases, be it Amazon or Flipkart or Myntra. So similar to that, if we are trying to search for any of the prior art similar to our idea, we would be able to get it out. So these are like different fields where we can search for. But one thing, always keep it in mind, which I had discussed last time also. Whenever you are searching, do not like keep on searching for exact words. Just try to understand the implied meaning of the words also. Suppose you are searching for something related to spring only, but you are getting the prior art results and it is written there energy storing means. So the meaning is same. Multiple times it happens, like patent claims are written or patents are written in such a way like they are using multiple jargons which are not easily understandable by the ordinary persons who are not into the IP field, I would say. So for this toy ball, if it is written like spherical object with floppy filaments, any person like having no IP experience, they would say these two are like different objects. So keep that in mind and always think from the implied meanings perspective. Not only try to think from the word by word basis only. If spring is not written, and you suppose from this example, nail, screw, or rivet, these are like being used for connecting or joining two different objects. So if instead of this we are writing fastening means, so that could also be equally like providing the similar meaning. So in nutshell, what I just want to tell you, like whenever somebody is doing a prior art based search or a patentability search or any kind of search, I would say, just do not stick to only those keywords. Try to explore all the synonyms, technical synonyms, I would say, and the jargons used for those words. Then only you would be able to find all the relevant results, and chances of missing any of the related patent would be very less. So this is the point where I would say no non-patent professionals lack, because they just stick to or focus or pay attention only to exact keywords and try to miss the all the like technical variations or technical synonyms. So pay attention to that and you can conduct your own patentability search. So coming to the second phase of the training, which was related to the patent strategy, the patentability search is over till now, because you just need to focus on new, or I would say novelty or inventive step, and non-obviousness we call it in US, and inventive step in Europe, and the industrial applicability. So for that, how a patentability search is being conducted, I have just tried to explain you out in each and every step. And why patentability search was needed, I have given you all the insights. The second phase is related to the patent strategy. So how patents are used, one must have to get an idea. So patents are being used for like these different purposes. The primary purpose of every invention is to just like licensing opportunity. Like we are protecting our products so that we should stop others to make use or sell it without our permission. So ultimately, objective of every business is to increase the turnover and profits. The second objective is like attracting the investors so that we should get more money. We should do more research and development, and we should have a competitive edge in the market. But maximum, I would say, the objective is blocking the competitors, because patents always give you a negative right to stop others from making, using, selling, or importing the inventions which are like infringing your patents. So these are like having multiple uses. So all these are related to business, as Michael has already told about the strategy of patents. So it is in line with that he just mentioned earlier. So why one is running behind the patents? It is a strategy for business, and business strategy should always be aligned to the patent strategy, because patents are like the foundation stone. On the basis of that, the whole research and development and the manufacturing and the sales depends. Suppose you have like built a very super and market demanding product and it is having huge sales in the market, but if somebody like your product is infringing somebody's patents, so out of those profits you must have to give a huge amount of royalty in terms of licensing amount to the patent owners. So in that case you have to like compromise with your profits, because you were not able to protect your those products in terms of patents. So it is similar to, I would say, for the sake of like memorizing it in general language or in layman words, if I say, like you are having a huge pile of, or a like a bag full of gold or money inside your house, but you are not able to like make a boundary line across your house, and you are not able to like make a gatekeeper like at the outside so that no trespasser should enter inside it. So if you are keeping your money openly, so chances of the robbers, like they will come and surely take it out. So patents will always help you in like blocking the competitors, just like the boundary wall or the fence will help you in like keeping the unnecessary elements outside your property. So think it from only that perspective. These are like the another 4 main pillars of IP management, I would say. It is like helping you in out creating opportunities, evaluation, IP protection is there, and exploitation is there. So opportunities is like you are spreading awareness by either teaching or training, and evaluation is you are making something new. So I would say patents, anything which has been patented, it will give motivation to someone to make something more useful, more productive, more fast as to the existing technology. So it is helping us in evolve more and more. So in that way, if IP protection is there, one can easily exploit our ideas by generating money from it and by blocking the competitors. So these are also, I would say, few options which universities, and not only universities, but every startup, small or large scale, can adopt any of these strategies. Like this is IP management, and these are the like multiple options. We can start from research and development, then invention disclosures, then it is evaluated. And evaluation is like deciding ourselves whether it should be patented or not, like doing all the decision making from business and IP and legal side. And then if it is patentable, IP protection, one should go for the IP protection. And if patent is getting granted, one can exploit. How it can exploit? Either the license agreement, we can assign it to someone and spin out. So these are the like multiple ways which one can keep in mind, but everything starts with the idea, and idea always comes up at the research and development side, where you are focusing on the problems and how those problems can be solved and what are the technical benefits you are getting by solving those problems. So this is the only root cause from where you can generate a lot of ideas, and those ideas can get converted into patents, and patents will help you in making or developing a competitive edge in the market, either in terms of licensing or your own products or your own brand. So that's all from my side. This is one example. I had given you an assignment last time. So this was the assignment actually. I just asked you to write down any of the like details storyline related to this or claims. So one thing, as a patentability search I'm talking about. So suppose this is the disclosure and this is another. Do you feel these two are same or different? Anyone?
Okay, Michael and testimony. I think you guys were giving assignments yesterday, so you can answer the question.
So just say yes or no. Are these two similar or different?
It's similar.
Yes, right. So in the same way, suppose just by changing the representation or changing the structure of the drawing, the whole idea will always remain same. And in the same way, if you are just changing the names, but overall idea is same, again, it will be evaluated in the same way. It won't change. Suppose you have invented one kind of like mobile phone, and the another has just changed the color of the body. Instead of black, they just saying it is like I have invented a white phone. So it won't be having any patentable weight unless or until uh, it is having some technical advantages, like making obvious variations in any of the existing technology would not help you in getting a patent unless or until it is having a technical advantages. So this was the assignment I has given you last time, or we will talk about it, I guess, later. I will share you the claim for that. This was the, let me show you. So is it up? From the previous assignment, what I has given you and shown you the drawings, you can simply write it in that way, like an apparatus for shaking articles. So this is the preamble part, the apparatus comprising. This is the claim structure. I'm just giving you an overview how the things are getting connected. So comprising means like it is open-ended. It could have, in addition to 1, 2, 3, 4, it could have multiple additional components as well. So like these are like multiple components. See, one is the container for the articles. I'm not writing any specific chemicals or any specific fluid, just trying to keep it broad. And here also I'm not writing a funnel or a bottle or a steel container, something. If I'm writing it here like a glass container, I'm getting excluded from all the metal, non-metal, wooden, anything. But if I'm writing container, it could be any container, be it metallic and non-metallic. A base, I'm not telling here also base, what kind of material I'm using for base, be it a rubber, again metallic or non-metallic, trying to keep it as broad as we can. A plurality of parallel legs. Generally, I can also write only a plurality of legs as well. Parallel, if you are doing additional limitation, you can do it. Otherwise, if you want to remove the parallel legs, if you just want to write a plurality of legs, it is fine. I'm not writing here 2 legs or 3 legs because that would be limited. If I'm just writing 2 legs and somebody has come up with 3 legs, we cannot ask them like, we cannot tell them like you are infringing on my patents unless or until they are proving it like we are doing something differently and having some other additional advantages. So trying to keeping it broad here. So each leg is connected to at one end to the container. This is how things are connected to each other. It is telling the story in a broader way. And the last one is means for oscillating the container on the legs to shake the article. So means for oscillating could be anything, any vibrator or any piezoelectric sensor or any other electrical or electronic gadget, which will be disclosed in the specification, but not in the claim. So this is how we try to introduce each and every element, how these elements are connected with each other and what function they are performing. So these things we try to just capture, and this is only in one sentence. If you see, it is starting from here apparatus and it is ending at this last and having the period or full stop at the end. In between, it is having either semicolon or commas, but full stop is only here. So always keep it in mind or remember the patent claim is only one sentence long. The style of writing is something we have to fulfill it for the as per the patent office, but everywhere, like be it international patent application or US, Europe, China, Japan, everywhere, the patent claim will always be in the form of only one sentence. So this is just an overview. Next time we will discuss about this anatomy part in detail and especially about the patent claims in further much more details. So this is all about from my side. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh, for the wonderful presentation and also sharing pictographic PowerPoint presentation to enable us understand. I think it was educative, enlightening, and very informative. So I'll call on the next mentee to continue his presentation from where he stopped. I think we lost him again, so he's not here with us. So we'll just move ahead to call our second mentor for today, Miss Shukrat Amosa, to give us some of our comments too.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Rakesh. Hi, Jane.
Yes,
Hello.
we can.
Nice to finally meet you.
Right.
So Rakesh has done a good job. So I'm just going to give an overview of patents in general. So when we say patent, like what comes to your mind? I know there's been some confusion. Some people confuse patent with trademark and copyright and industrial design, but we need to know what applies to each of these intellectual property rights. So now when it comes to patent, like what does it take to come up with a great invention? Is it about the novelty or the inventiveness, or is it about the fact that you can actually commercialize it? Because not all patents are commercializable. That's number one. The fact that you have a patent doesn't mean it will end up being in the market. So if you have a patent and you cannot work that patent, it's just like you're having a goal that doesn't have value. So the first thing is when you have a patent, you should be able to actually commercialize that patent. And that's when it turns to an innovation. Because if you just have a patent that you can't commercialize, it's just an invention and not an innovation. So what does patent actually do? Now we have a patent. Number one, it has to be new. I think I have to go back to Michael's slide. He mentioned some things in his slide. I think that has to be slide 8. You can take me to slide 8. I think slide 8 and slide 10, if I'm not mistaken. Slide 8. Okay. Okay, he said patent search will not tell you if your invention infringes someone else's patent. Yeah, it actually might not tell you outrightly, but you'll be able to see one or two things whereby you can actually deduce if this invention will actually infringe on somebody's patent or not. Then slide 10, it mentions something about non-obviousness. So, okay, your last slide, when you said non-obviousness, say it is required that the invention be an improvement over the prior art. Now, that is not a compulsory requirement. When you say non-obviousness simply means this invention is not obvious to a person skilled in the act. Sometimes they call it posita. I think they call it posita in Korea. Person skilled in the act. That is, it is not an invention that I can just put A and B together and come up with Z. Do you understand? So it's not a requirement. It can be an improvement, but not necessarily must it be an improvement. So when you say something is, then the other one is statutory. The invention must be statutory. Subject matter eligibility. So not all things can be patented. So it must be an invention that can be patentable, that has that patentable subject matter. For example, if I come up with an invention and I say a method of trapping oxygen in the air, that's not a patentable subject matter, because it's just like when I trap oxygen in the air, I'm depriving people of getting that oxygen. So imagine me patenting something like that. It's like causing people dying because they won't be able to like get that oxygen. So there are some topics that cannot actually be patented. So we have to take note of that. And I know Rakesh mentioned in a slide, for example, business methods are not protected in some jurisdiction. Methods are not protected in some jurisdiction as well. But in Nigeria, because Nigeria is not, so we are just coming up. So it won't be fair for someone you're trying to encourage, go to the patent registry and they say, oh no, your patent is not patentable, so go back home. So we kind of created a way whereby you can actually protect your business method. I won't say patent it, but protect it as a business method. So there's a section called business method. You protect your business method. Then we have utility model. Not all jurisdictions also have utility model. So under utility model, you necessarily don't have that inventiveness option. Yes, it will be new and it must be industrially applicable, but that inventiveness, that non-obviousness is not really a requirement for utility model. So when you go to the patent registry and you have an invention, let's say your invention passes the novelty test, but it's not obvious. I mean, it doesn't pass that inventive step. They can now tell you that, okay, fine. Since it doesn't meet up with main patent, you can go for utility method, utility model patent protection. So we have the business method, we have utility model, and we have patent itself. So we are just trying to like encourage these inventors instead of sending them back and say, go back home, your patent is not patentable. We'll give them another category of the utility model. Then if they now come up with an advancement of that utility model, they can now go ahead with the main patent protection. So it's just like, so when you say patent is like, what do you call it now? A trade by barter. I have something. Like the government, now what the government do is they try to like make the country a better place for people to stay by funding invention and the like. So now you have someone that has an invention, right? So now let's exchange what we have to do. Give me your invention, I will give you protection. Do you get? But what do you have to do? You have to give me a disclosure to that invention. So I am giving the government my invention. And what is the government giving me? The government is giving me protection for 20 years. So that's trade by barter. I give you something, you give me something in return. So what is the need for me as an inventor? I have the exclusive right to exclude people from using my invention. You can't use it, you can't sell it without my authorization. So what is the need for the government? Once that patent expires, somebody else can pick up the patent, work on it, advance on it, and also patent it as well. That way we keep protecting the technological, it keeps giving us technological advancements in the country. So just like, so once like say, okay, once this patent expires, I don't have that opportunity to use that same invention. And that's why we now have compulsory licensing and the likes comes in, especially when it is very critical to the situation that that country found itself in. For example, where we had to do like the COVID-19 vaccine and the likes, they had to give compulsory licensing. You have to compulsory license this COVID-19 vaccine so that every other person can benefit from it. You can't be keeping something that can save life and say it's your patent, people cannot use it. So in that kind of reaction, we have to like look at patent feasibility, like how do you now, okay, fine, let's do it this way. So even if the government will still give you something for your patent, then they are compulsory license for other people, like the developing country, to now benefit from it. So like Rasheka has said, like patent is actually broad, is broad. You have to look at your claims, the description, the drawings, and every other thing. So I feel like he has covered everything already. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Amusa, for that explained overview on patents. So I don't know if Testimony is with us now. Maybe he can still present his presentation before we move to the picture session, then question and answer. Testimony, is your network good right now? Okay, I think his network is still having issues. So it's the picture time now. So I advise everybody to put on their videos. And a smiling face, please, so that we'll take screenshots. Thank you. Okay, I think Testimony is here now. So Testimony, can you still make your presentation?
Yes, I can make it. I don't know, it's my records just up and down, going up and down. So definitely, if we could start from I'll be proud search. So I just continue for my stuff.
Yeah, let's hold on. Can you see my screen? Testimony, are you there? And can you see my screen? Okay, I don't know. Can anybody hear testimony? Because I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either.
Okay, so I think we just continue. So anybody that has a live question for our mentors, you can raise your hand and I'll just ask your question directly before I ask the questions that were sent by the mentees to the mentors. So Jennifer, Omohe, and Michael, do you have any live questions for either of our mentors? If no, okay, I will be reading out the questions.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So my question is to Rakesh. Hi, Rakesh. So I want to find out for the prior art search, what are the different databases that we have that we can use to conduct the search? What are the various databases?
Okay, there are, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so like there are multiple free databases. Like first of all, I would say for every jurisdiction, they have their own free patent databases where anybody can search for the patents. For example, US is having Japan, China, India, like everybody is having their own country specific databases which are free, where anyone can search without any login credentials, and it is free of cost. And in addition to that, WIPO, that World Intellectual Property Organization, it is also having their database where anybody can search, and you do not need to have expertise for searching in all those databases, because they are having the manuals and all the instruction guidelines are there. One can read through it and one can simply use it. These are very easy to use. The other thing is, apart from the free databases, there are paid databases also, which you can use by paying some amount of money as the licensing fee. The paid databases will help you in giving quick insights and much more structured way. Those databases will help you out more by just not only like searching, but they will help you in getting that data downloaded from there, be in the terms of like patent numbers or Excel files or graphs, different types of insights. You can get it from there. So it is simply you are like purchasing some kind of tool which will make your life easier. So depending on your requirement, you can purchase a database, or if it is not needed, free databases are also there. Like Google Patents is itself is having like biggest one, which is available for free and which is very easy to use. So these databases one can use anytime from anywhere for especially patentability search or any type of prior art search.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Rakesh.
Welcome.
Okay, I'd like to add something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason why Jiniana actually asked that question is because our own database is not free. And you can't access it, actually. So you can't access the Nigerian database. So our advice, you can use Google Patent. I think Google Patent is one of the well-known one people actually, and XPassNet. XPassNet is another one you can use, and the WIPO database, just like Akez has mentioned. So those are three ones I think you can actually rely on.
Thank you very much, Amuso.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I'll be asking the questions the mentee sent for the mentors. So the first question is from Mr. Rakesh. Should we draw our own invention diagrams, or should we hire professional artists to draw them?
Actually, it depends, I will say. If your invention is very simple and easy to understand, you can draw yourself and you can go and file a patent application for your invention. for any of the utility invention. But if you are going to file a design patent, and for utility also, like if it is having multiple variations, a advice from or help from the professional will always be helpful, because they will try to nurture your invention in that way. It will help you in expanding the scope. So they will prepare it in the professional way. It will be helpful. There won't be like, you won't be suffering at the later stage.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh. So the second question is for Amusa. Is patent strategy the same as business strategy? Did you hear my question, Ms. Amusa?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so just to add to that question, if you should draw patents, if you should draw your patent diagrams yourself. So I would say most people say drawing is the art to a patent invention, because if you can see a good drawing, you can actually dissect what is in the description of that drawing, of that invention through the drawing. If you understand the drawing very well, you'll be able to understand the description very well as well. So in some cases, and again, some jurisdictions have guidelines when it comes to patent drawing. So you won't shoot yourself in the leg and just draw what you think describes your invention without knowing that there are some guidelines you are meant to follow. You can actually use a patent illustrator. It's not so expensive, just to be on the safer side. Get a patent attorney who has an access to a patent illustrator that can help you draw your patent invention.
Okay, thank you very much for the contribution. The second question is for you. Okay. Is patent strategy the same as business strategy?
Okay, I think it was Michael that had a presentation on that. So patent strategy is not the same as business strategy, although we can say they kind of have the same aim and objective, but it's not the same thing. So when we're talking about patent strategy, sometimes you are like, okay, fine, I want to file an invention, but I'm not yet done with this patent application. So what can I actually do? So sometimes you could file a non-provisional application. So non-provisional is like, okay, fine, pending the time that I'm done with the main application, let me file a non-provisional application. So within that 12 years after filing, you have the opportunity to now file the main application. So that could be a patent strategy as well. Then the patent searches as well, your freedom of operation. You can also look at that as well. So there are different patent strategies, but it is not the same as business strategy, though they might have the same aim and objective, but they are not the same thing.
Shall I add one more point to that?
Yes, you can contribute.
Yeah, so like patent strategy, in like my viewpoint, is a subset of the business strategy. Like business strategy is a like broader picture to run a complete business, but patent strategy could be treated as a subset of the business strategy, which is just to help that business. Like as Amosa and Michael has already said, the aim is same, but objectives are different little bit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh, and thank you very much, Ms. Amusa, for answering the question.
Sorry, please. There is a particular comment that Ms. Amusa made. She said 12 years. So I just want to correct it. Is it 12 years or 12 months for the non-provisional patent application?
12 months rather. 12 months. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the last question, okay, the both mentors can take it. What are the factors that will make a patent application to be rejected? What are the factors that will make a patent application to be rejected? So Mr. Rakesh, you can go first.
Okay, like in like my viewpoint, as we had discussed, a patent application will get rejected if it is not fulfilling the statutory requirements of that patent office. And those statutory requirement broadly, if say, will comes under like subject matter eligibility, novelty, and that obviousness, like prior art based rejections, as well as the language related concerns. Like these are the major rejections. Like prior art based rejections will always come under either the novelty as well as the non-obvious side. But in addition to those prior art, there are other rejections like the indefiniteness issue or the subject matter eligibility, like whatever we are disclosing or we are claiming, it is not supported by the specification or description and drawings also. So, and sometimes we are trying to claim a black box without providing the details, what are the like different components we are using inside that black box. So that falls under the indefiniteness or ambiguity, and many patents gets rejected under these type of rejections as well. And European Patent Office is very strict. US is also now becoming more strict towards these for indefiniteness related issues. Like multiple times it happens, we are claiming something in the claims, but support in the specification is missing, or drawings and specification, the support is missing. So those kind of rejections are very difficult to overcome. The second point is subject matter eligibility. It falls under something, or we are like trying to write some claim terms, but it is having multiple meanings, and we are not clarifying what specific meaning it is trying to convey. So it falls under the indefiniteness issue. So these are the, like, I would say broadly, these are 4 type of rejections, but there could be multiple others also, like double patenting rejection is there. Restriction requirement is there. If we are like trying to patent multiple inventions in one patent only, examiner or patent office will raise a restriction requirement, will ask us to file another application for different inventive concept. So, but primarily, I would say for one patent application, these are the 4 rejection types. That's all from my side. Amosa, to you.
I think you've done justice to it already. So like your drawing, if your drawing is not rightly drawn, if it's not going with the rules and regulation, you could have a rejection. Then if your patent is not novel, like it's the same with the prior act, you have rejection as well. Yeah, I think another thing is unity of invention. If you are doing a kind of multiple patent application and there is no unity of invention, like they can't really understand how one relates to the other, I think can actually cause for rejection at the patent office as well. So I think that's all from my side.
Like one more point I just want to highlight. All those rejections are not the final rejections. Every patent office will give you an option to overcome those rejections, and not only once, depending on the prosecution history or you want to fight with the patent office. It always gives you an option to prove your point, and this is, we call it a prosecution. We always like tend to deal with the examiner, be it in the written communication by filing the response to those rejections or by conducting an interview with those. So do not have a fear of the rejections. Like these are not the final rejections. Multiple times inventor feel like our patent application got rejected and our all hard work has not been paid off. So these are the temporary rejections. These could be overcome. So do not, like, no need to despair, have hopes high. These rejections could be overcome and one can get patent instead of those rejections also.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh and Ms. Amosa, our mentors for today. Thank you for mentoring us and joining us today. Thank you to Michael for the presentation, the wonderful presentation. We're so sorry Anthony was not able to join us today, was not able to present because of his network. I say testimony, sorry, because of his network connection. So Ms. Juliana also joined us. So we'll ask her for closing remark before we close the session today.
Thank you so much, Rakesh, for today. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing. Rakesh is so kind and he's open to sharing with the next generation. And that's one thing that I really like about what he's doing. Thank you so much, Rakesh, for being there and for sharing generously with us and teaching us about patent drafting. Also, I want to say a very big thank you to Amosa. Having Amosa in your corner is just a huge blessing. because she's so knowledgeable and she's so willing to share her knowledge. Thank you so much, Amosa. And then for Mike.
Sorry, I can't hear Miss Juliana. Can you hear her?
Sorry, apologies. And then for Michael and testimony, thank you also for presenting. And I think testimony should work on his internet, as all of us are going to be working on our own, because he was not able to present last week also, and now he's not able to present this week. I know that we're here and we have network issues, but just try and see if you can get an alternative. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us. Thank you,
Thank you.
Shukura, and thank you,
Bye.
Hussein, for moderating the session. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.